Hello, welcome to Dungeon Dwellers Podcast. I'm your host Justin. We're doing another Super Robot Show Mecha anime review. This time with GoShogun, which is a 1981 26 episode series by Studio Production Read. Though according to Wikipedia, it says it's by Ashi Productions, which I have no idea. Oh, apparently. It changed its name after a while. Okay, whatever. So this anime series was put out on DVD by Discotek. Oh, the show is directed by Kunohiko Yuyama, written by Takeshi Shudo, and music by Tachio Akano. Um, so the story for this show, I'm just gonna read it off Wikipedia. The story is set in early 21st century, in which a covert evil organization, Dokuga, led by Lord Neoneros, he's called Emperor Neoneros in the show, holds near total political, economical, and military control of the world. Dokuga agents try to forcibly recruit a brilliant physicist, Professor Sonata, who sets off a suicide bomb rather than let Dukaga acquire his secret research, which is it's funny because like when that happened, at first like they had sent like human agents to capture Dr. Sonata, but after that suicide attack, the henchmen in the movie are all in the TV show, not movie. I got mixed up because I was looking at Time Stranger, which is a GoShogun movie, which I was told was a fucking compilation movie. Some places have it listed as a compilation movie, but I just read the description for the movie and it sounds like it's a sequel. So I don't know if it's a combination of both or it's one or the other. That's why I was a little confused. Yeah, but like after that like suicide bomb that Dr. Sonata sets off, in the show, all the henchmen are replaced by like robots, so which I thought was kind of funny. It's like they were taking precautions after that. So like after the suicide bomb, rather than let Dukuga acquire his secret research, his son Kenta, who's 10 years old, becomes Dukuga's next target, but he is saved by his father's colleague, what's his name, Saburov, and taken on board a teleporting fortress, Good Thunder. Teleportation is enabled by a mysterious form of energy called Beamler, which was discovered by Sonata. The same energy also powers a giant battle robot, GoShogun, which is operated by 3 pilots. The crew of Good Thunder travels the world, repeatedly fighting off Neoneros forces with GoShogun, and often hampering Dokuga's influence on the local level, whether by destroying their bases and businesses, assisting popular rebellions, or by averting environmental disasters, or at least one occasion GoShogun pilots must team up with Dokuga's 3 chief officers against a common enemy. That was a good episode to prevent the destruction of the mall. This sets the stage for 11th hour reversal in which the 3 Dokuga generals side definitively against Neoneros with the GoShogun team. What the fuck? That never happened. Over the course of the series, it is revealed that Beamler energy originates from a meteorite. Okay, this is spoilers. Okay, we don't want to get into spoilers. Alright. Yeah, whoever wrote this was kind of a retard. Oh, apparently there's a Saban Entertainment made an anime where they combined footage from GoShogun and some other anime called Struggle Mission Outer Space Struggle. Similar show produced by Yosuga Ageshi to form Micron 1. Okay, that's fucking dumb. So I fucking hate Saban. So the show, the list of characters, what the Wikipedia article didn't mention is our characters are 3. There's like 5 people that are on the space battleship. Well, it's not actually a space battleship, but it could be if it wanted to. The Good Thunder base, where you have our characters are Sabarath, the leader. You have Kenta, who's the son of the physicist who helped create Good Thunder and GoShogun. You got our three pilots who who pilot three separate machines that form into a robot called Tri-3, which is a lot weaker than GoShogun. Why it's even in the show, I don't know. They just had it in there to sell more toys. Which the three machines dock with GoShogun and they pilot it. So the three main characters who pilot GoShogun are Remy Shimada, who's like a French spy, who's also the main pilot for Tri-3, which is the weaker of the two robots. You got Killy Gagley, who's a career criminal, who is a gang member from New York, and Shingo Hojo, who's the main pilot of the GoShogun, who's an ex-soldier for the UN forces. And what was the? I said there was 5 characters, right? Oh yeah, there's Ova, who's the robot who's like a nanny for Kenta, right? Whose job is to teach him and raise him, right? And she has a bit of a mother complex with Kenta, which they explained that his real mother died when he was 3 years old, so that's why I guess his father built him a robot replacement for his real mother, which is kind of fucked up. Yeah, so they fight Dokuga, which the main hierarchy of Dokuga are Emperor Neros, who we get a very rushed explanation near the end of the series on his backstory, which is like kind of bullshit in my opinion, but whatever. He has 3 generals. Kutna, who is a pirate. Who has this crow that's always on his shoulder. Also has one eye. You have Colonel Goal, who is the dumb one of the 3. He's a brute, but he's also the funniest of the 3. Whose design is obviously a ripoff of Colossus from X-Men. He even has like a similar like color scheme. Which once I'll make sure to put an image of him. Hopefully we find an image of him on the review. And the last general is Bundle, who's this effeminate, artsy guy. He's a snob. He hates his allies, and it's just a complete, weirdo. Okay, always plays classical music in his battles. Always talks about equates everything to beautiful and ugly. He has a very black and white worldview. Yeah, so which I really like those the villains in this show, and kind of disappointed they didn't get origin stories, which our main characters all got origin stories, except for Sabarath, who we get a half-ass explanation for him at the end. But yeah, so most of the show is our characters running away from Dokuga, because Dokuga wants to capture the Good Thunder base to get their teleportation device. But because also I forgot to mention the Good Thunder base is controlled by this mysterious AI called Father, who once in a while the Good Thunder base will go on missions, and they won't Father will not tell anybody why they're there and what's going on, right? But yeah, so the Good Thunder can teleport, but at first in the series it can only teleport once every 10 days, and then like as this series goes on, the Good Thunder's teleportation abilities evolve. But there's also a point where like our our main characters the sorry. Let me take a drink of water. Fuck. This is a podcast, by the way. Okay. This isn't like some analysis bullshit. This is a review that I'm podcasting, alright? Yeah, so there's a point in the show where, okay, I'll spoil this. It turns out the thing that powers the teleportation device is Beamler, which is this mysterious energy from outer space. It's this living thing that fucking evolves, right? And what it gets into its second stage of evolution, where it's so powerful that if the Good Thunder base is destroyed, it'll not just destroy the explosion. Will not just destroy Earth, but the entire fucking solar system. So you have this point in the show where the bad guys have to come up with plans to defeat the Good Thunder base without, you know, destroying the ship. Which, you know, at the end of the series, they plan as the ship reaches its last stage of evolution, it's going to lose its destructive power. It will no longer destroy the Earth. So that's when a final battle is planned, and you have the final confrontation between Good Thunder Base and Dakuga, right? Which, in one of my critiques of this show is the ending for this show is very anticlimactic. But before I get into that, I just want to get into what the GoShogun can do. So the GoShogun, because you have the teleportation, the GoShogun's weapons are teleported to the robot, which some of his weapons are, well, like, it's pirate the GoShogun's obviously pirate themed, so he has like a saber, battle axe. They can teleport him like this big bazooka, which is pretty cool actually. And he has this special attack called Go Flasher, which near the end of the series, the Go Flasher gets a new attack where it's no longer the Go Flasher special. That's what it's called. No longer destroys enemies when it hits them, but what it does is makes the robots self-aware, and then a lot of the time they'll kill themselves, and which is now that you think about it, is like one of the most powerful fucking weapons in any fucking anime series I ever watched. So there's a point where Dakuga, because they're gonna launch a suicidal nuclear attack, and the GoShogun fires off its which the GoShogun can teleport at the end of the series. Uses its actually that's not correct, but theoretically it could if it wanted to. Uses its Go Flasher to stop all the fucking nuclear missiles and then teleport them a safe distance away. They teleported on the moon, where you have Dr. Jitter, which is like Dakuga's expert on mechanical engineer expert who designs all the robots and, like, you know, special weapons and shit, is building a final robot and on the moon, and then like outside all the fucking missiles hit the moon, but nuclear missiles hit the moon but don't explode, which another complaint. They had they had a special robot they were saving till the end that they didn't get to use. That kind of pissed me off. So I'll just go into the pros and cons. You got decent mecha design. the GoShogun is obviously inspired by um, the giant robot from Coup Ranger, also known as Power Rangers over here. Like, there's no way you can tell me that design-wise it doesn't look like the Megazord from Power Rangers. It totally does, right? Which Coup Ranger, I'm pretty sure is from the 70s, so they could have ripped it off. But I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it does. So you have likable characters. I like that there was an origin story for almost all the protagonists. That was cool. You got good music, adult main characters, because like a lot of mecha shows, especially nowadays, have like kid or teenage characters. All of our protagonists, except for the one kid, are adults, right? What else did I write? Good music. Okay, I already said that. You got some pretty cool science fiction in the show, especially with the self-aware energy form, and then like other stuff I don't want to spoil, right? Which I can't talk about, but yeah, there's some really cool stuff. Like, you don't usually see that in like anime, especially anime at this time. So cons: no English translation for the credits, so that pissed me off. Cause like because on TV shows they'll go into who was the character designer, who was the mecha designer. They don't have that on fucking My Anime List, and I don't see it on the Wikipedia. So that's a critique mostly for like Discotek. Okay. Lots of spelling errors on the subtitles. This is not available in English, right? It's just available in Japanese. So like there was a lot of spelling errors, right? So at first I thought, oh, they were changing the names for the different countries, but then there were some times where they would call, like at first they call America Ameria, but then there are times where they call America America. So that's, and like you have that with other like spelling errors of countries and like names and stuff as well. So that's when I figured out, oh, they weren't changing the name of the countries. It was spelling errors, right? Generic character design. Kenta is very annoying in the beginning of the series and is inconsistent because Shingo Hojo gets this idea to train Kenta and teach him how to fight and pilot GoShogun, which at the end of this, which in the finale of the series, Kenta pilots the GoShogun. And there's an episode where Shingo is injured protecting Remy, and he can't pilot his machine for like 10 days or so. So like in those 10 days, Kenta has to pilot the GoShogun. Why they can't have one of the other characters switch out and switch machines and pilot the GoShogun? Because they don't need all the machines to dock with the GoShogun to pilot the GoShogun. Like all you need is like what's his name, Shinjo's machine to pilot the GoShogun. So, but the problem is then they don't have access for the different weapons, even though that doesn't make sense since the different weapons are getting teleported to the GoShogun using the Beamler, right? But whatever, right? So they could have just had one of the other characters pilot GoShogun, right? But they chose Kenta, which was fucking really dumb. And there's this episode where Kenta is getting trained to pilot the GoShogun, and like because you know he's like a kid, right? And the controls are made for adults, right? He has a hard time piloting it, so he gets this retarded idea in his head to modify the controls to make it easier for him. So what ends up happening is Shingo goes out on the fucking GoShogun, and then they almost get killed because he has difficulty controlling the GoShogun because Shinta is a dumbass, even though he's supposed to be a genius. Not Shinta, Kenta, sorry. Almost get them killed. So like this happened earlier in the show, and then they still have him pilot the robot when like Shingo is like injured, which was fucking dumb as hell, right? And what happened is that Kenta can talk with robots. He considers robots his friends because he grew up with robots, right? And then there's also some shit I don't want to spoil where there's an explanation for that, but he considers robots his friends, right? So once he gets into the GoShogun, he decides he doesn't want to fight anymore. He doesn't want to kill he doesn't want to kill destroy the enemy machines, right? Because he considers machines his friends. So our main characters have to talk him into like doing it, right? Which takes up a huge amount of time. And like GoShogun is almost being destroyed. It loses its arm in that fight, right? What my problem with that episode is there's a point in the show where they get these tiny robots infiltrate the Good Thunder base and tries to destroy the Good Thunder, and then you see Kenta destroy these robots. He protects the Beamler engine or whatever using his Jetter Ace thruster to destroy these robots, right? So earlier in the show he had no problem killing robots, but now when he's given this fighter role and he has to save everybody, couldn't, right? Until like, you know, they guilt trip and into doing it, right? So I thought that was fucking dumb. That was inconsistent. Also, the show, it takes place, Kenta starts off at 10 years old, and the show chronologically it takes like 3 years, right? It's over a 3-year span. So Kenta at the end of the show is 13 years old, and he looks exactly the same, is dressed the same. Like, they could have just changed his outfit, and then, you know, we could have just pretend he was like older. But no, he looks exactly the same, even though he's 13. Doesn't even get a growth spurt at all, right? You have ripped off character designs, like I mentioned earlier. I will say this. There's a point where like they have this Dokuga has this copy of GoShogun, which kind of looks like the Mecha from Dunbine, but like, you know, different color schemes. It has the same color scheme as like GoShogun, but instead of blue, they replaced it with green. I don't know which anime series they ripped that mecha design off from, but I think it's from Dunbine, but I'm not 100% sure. No, Dunbine came out later. My bad. Okay, never mind. Forget that. But yeah, but there's a lot of rip-off. Yeah. So, but they get away. Apparently, they get away with that because the show's a parody. Which, even though there are times where like the show takes itself 100% serious. There's a lot of stupid meta jokes in the show, right? Which didn't bother me at first until the fucking end, where like where like Bundle breaks the fourth wall, and it's like, this is how the final battle ends. This is so anticlimactic. I fucking hated that shit, right? But I don't know. I hated that. And then there's also, what were my other critiques? I forgot. I didn't write everything down. But yeah, I don't know, dude. This show, I like the characters, but this show has some pretty bad problems. And then there's the fact that, like, this show is like $60 on Discotek's website. So it's a bit overpriced for what it is, considering it only has like 26 episodes. But yeah, I don't know. It's the thing where I really liked the characters, and the mecha design wasn't bad, and I liked how the show had a short length. But other than that, it has a lot of problems. But if you can overlook the problems, I think it's a show that's worth watching. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Did I mention this? I think I mentioned this in my first take, but I don't think I mentioned this. This show was also created by the people who made Barrios, so there's a lot of Barrios references. There's even a point in the show where like Kenta is giving an English lesson, and on the blackboard, in English it's written stronger Barrios or GoShogun, which obviously GoShogun is stronger because of its bullshit Go Flasher special attack where it makes robots self-aware and want to kill themselves, which is a fucking very brutal weapon. But yeah, I don't know, dude. Apparently, there's like I mentioned, there's a compilation movie and a sequel called Time Stranger. Now that I know it's part sequel, I might buy that and review it. All right. So our next Mecha anime series review is going to be DreamWorks Voltron. I have it on DVD. A bunch of my comic books fell. I had a stack right here. Oh fuck. Whatever. I have Netflix's DreamWorks Voltron show on DVD. I bought it for like $10. It's season 1 and season 2 is only 26 episodes. Okay, so at first I was just gonna review season 1, but now that I know it's only 26 episodes for both seasons, yeah, I'll review both seasons. So that's gonna be our next Mecha anime series review. After that, which I'm doing them weekly, right? After that, I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna review what was it called? Star Blazers 2199 season, which is the first season. The second season is like 2200. I don't have the second season, I only have the first season. Yeah, but I'm gonna review that. But if you're there's no giant robots in that series, but it's still, you have some really cool space battles. I highly recommend it. Alright, and if you don't believe me, check out Mecha Flash's review of Star Blazers 2199. Like, he'll convince you. Alright, guys, that's all I gotta say for this review. Later, peace.